Good evening, I'm David Allard. In these social media-driven times, we perhaps live in a world that values perfect lifestyles and perfect bodies. But of course, we're all made differently. One difference affects 9 out of 10 women, yet is not talked about openly. It's having one breast larger than the other. One Dorset woman was so fed up with not finding a bra that fitted properly, she started her own company to solve the problem. Linzi Kinghorn reports.
It really affected me. I would wear certain clothes that sort of covered my chest. I'd hold myself differently.
This is Natalie. She lives in Wimborne. One of her breasts is larger than the other.
I've went to the doctors a couple of times because it really did affect me mentally and emotionally.
Lovely wardrobe.
That was when the now 32-year-old was a teenager, but it wasn't until years later that she finally got a diagnosis.
I saw a consultant and I took my top off and he had a look and he said, do you know that you've got Poland syndrome, or have you ever heard of Poland syndrome?
Poland syndrome is a rare condition that's characterised by underdevelopment of chest muscle. It usually affects one side of the body, but it's just one of the causes of uneven breasts.
Breast asymmetry is essentially any difference between the left and the right breast. A difference in the position of the breast, so the left breast might sit higher, the right breast might sit lower. It could be differences in nipple position, it could be differences in projection of the breast, which give the impression of one breast being larger than the other. What's really important is the adjustment of the shoulder straps.
Research suggests up to 94% of women have one breast larger than the other. For many, it's not an issue.
But actually, within that 94% of women, 10% of those are reported to have significant differences in size between the left and the right. And for those women, it's a real issue for them. It's a real consideration on a day-to-day basis. On the treadmill
at the University of Portsmouth, they're looking at the biomechanics of breast asymmetry and what can be done to avoid things like back and neck pain.
Bras can't cope with that significant difference where there's a big difference in breast volume.
One woman from Dorset was so fed up with a lack of adequate provisions on the market, she decided to create her own product.
And when I was researching the idea and speaking to people about it, the resounding feedback from women were, I can't find a bra that fits both of my breasts well. And that's an issue that I'd had myself, but I thought it was just unique to me. And suddenly I realised that actually it's incredibly common. I conceived the bra balancer, which is a silicone breast prosthetic, which is specifically formed for breast asymmetry. So rather than a traditional breast prosthetic, which is designed to replace the entire breast, these are designed to replace just the void on a smaller size. But they're soft and natural feeling, so they feel like natural breast tissue and they move like natural breast tissue, and the weight is equivalent to the breast tissue that would be there, so that's why it provides that weight balance. It's often misconceived by doctors and the general public as as a cosmetic issue, which it absolutely is not. It is a health issue.
And I think for some women, they have asymmetrical breasts, they're really embarrassed about it. They don't want to talk about it. But if we could get the message across that up to 94% of women have one breast larger than the other, hopefully that starts to normalise it and it becomes less of a taboo topic area.
People spend a lot of time worrying about what other people think and how other people see them, when we've all got our own insecurities. Nobody's really paying attention to anybody else's body.
And our thanks to Natalie for being so candid in sharing her story with Linzi.